There are two parts to being human, flesh and spirit. We all have a physical body, which is our flesh, and we all have a life force that animates that body, which is our spirit. Our spirit is what connects us to God, and our flesh is what connects us to the world around us. Now, most people live in their flesh. They do what they want, when they want, how they want, and they seek to satisfy their fleshly desires. But Jesus did not live like that. He lived a life that defied the flesh and conquered sin. And if we want to live a life that has meaning and purpose, then we must follow in his footsteps. So today, I'm going to share with you 3 ways that Jesus defied the flesh and conquered sin so that we can do the same. No. 1. In the wilderness, Jesus was tempted by the devil. This is recorded for us in Matthew, Mark, and Luke. And basically, the devil tried to trick Jesus into using his powers to satisfy his fleshly desires. The devil said to him, "If you are the Son of God, turn these stones into bread. Command these fish to become birds of prey and throw yourself down, for it is written, 'He will command his angels concerning you, and they will lift you up in their hands, lest at any time you dash your foot against a stone.'" But Jesus resisted all of these temptations because he knew that giving into them would be a sin. And the scripture tells us that, being tempted, he yielded no ground to the tempter. This is the first way that Jesus defied the flesh. He resisted the devil, and he did not give in to temptation. Number 2, on the cross, Jesus cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" This is recorded for us in Matthew, Mark, and Luke. And here, Jesus was experiencing the full weight of God's wrath against sin. He took on the sins of the world, and he experienced the full wrath of God that should have been experienced by every person who has ever sinned. To take on this kind of pain and suffering was a great trial for Jesus, but he endured it because he knew that by doing so, he would conquer sin once and for all. And so he cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Why did Jesus cry out like this? Well, the answer is found in the next phrase, for he said, "Truly, truly, I say to you, you shall not see my God, until you come to know him." Here Jesus was quoting from Psalm 22, where David says, "I am a worm and no man, a reproach of men and despised by the people of the earth, who hold me as a vile and base thing. My God, why have you removed my defense? Why far off from the help of my right hand? For I cry out to you and you are silent. In a manner of wickedness, O Lord, you have destroyed me. And against me, O Lord, you have warred. All who see me mock me. They mock, they wag their heads over me and say, 'He trusted in the Lord. Let him deliver him. Let him rescue him, since he delights in him.'" That's what David and Jesus are saying here, is that sometimes when we cry out to God, we don't hear an immediate answer. Sometimes when we call on God for help, he seems silent. And this is a very difficult thing for us to understand. Because if we're praying and we're not seeing an answer right away, we begin to question whether or not God is even there. But this is what Jesus was teaching us. That even when we don't see an answer, even when it seems like God is silent, we must continue to trust in him. And finally, number 3, after Jesus was crucified, Joseph came and took his body down off the cross. This is recorded for us in Matthew, Mark, and Luke. And here, Joseph shows us what it means to have faith in Jesus. Even though Jesus had been crucified and put to death, Joseph still believed that he was the Messiah. So he went to Pilate and asked for Jesus' body. And when he got it, he wrapped it in a clean linen cloth, laid him in his own new tomb, and then rolled a large stone against the door of the tomb. And so the first thing that we see here is that Joseph did not let the religious leaders intimidate him. When they threatened him, he did not back down. He was willing to risk his own reputation and even his own life in order to bury Jesus. And second, we see that Joseph was willing to go above and beyond what was required of him. He didn't just wrap Jesus' body in a simple burial cloth and lay him in a common grave. He treated Jesus' body with the respect and dignity that was due to him as the Messiah. So in conclusion, let us remember that although we are all sinners, We can all live lives that defy the flesh and conquer sin. Let us look to Jesus, who is our example, and let us follow in his footsteps. Let us resist temptation and stand firm in our faith. Let us endure suffering without complaining, and let us obey God even when it costs us something. Because if we do these things, we will live lives that bring glory and honor to God.